Hello my internet friends, my name is Katie Obiton, and this video is going to be interesting to do. When I was a young girl, there was a kid around my age that made it big in the country industry. Now, I was really big into country when I was young, and surprisingly I'm not into it now that I'm an adult. But this artist was the only exception I had, and still have, to this day. His name is Billy Gilman, and from 2000 to 2003, he was one of the biggest names out there. At least he was a big name for where I'm from. Anyway, he took a 2-year hiatus because of his voice changing, and he wanted to find the right sound for him. He came back in 2005 with a big bang for me, but sadly not for the industry. His last album was made in 2006, and that album holds near and dear to my heart for all the right reasons. And so does Jesse McCartney's sophomore album, but that subject is for another video. From 2007 to present day, there hasn't really been much word on any sort of a new album, and it really saddens me. In November of last year, I was on YouTube, and I saw a video, and there was a still of Billy Gilman on that video. I clicked on it, and I did not expect to hear what he had to say in it. He came out saying that he was gay, and not only was he gay, he had a boyfriend. I have no problems with being gay. I strongly believe that you should be happy and find your happiness regardless of who you are as an individual. It's difficult for me to make this video, not because I'm ashamed of being a gay male artist, or a gay person, he stated. But it's pretty silly to know that I'm ashamed of doing this, knowing that I'm in a genre and an industry that's ashamed of me for being me. And honestly, I think that broke my heart to hear him say those words. He is a wonderful artist, and his vocals are memorable in my standards. But it's just shitty that we're in a society where everyone is coming to terms with people that are gay, lesbian, or transgender, but the country industry doesn't want people like Billy or any other gay artist representing what they do. And maybe that's another reason why I turned away from country even more, other than that douchebaggery duo of Florida Georgia Line or Sam Hunt. Gabe Goodman 09 knows how I feel about Sam Hunt. So in this video, I want to honor a piece of my childhood and my favorite country artists by doing a top 6 best albums list. Why 6? Because as Nostalgia Critic says, I like to go one step beyond. That, well, he only made 6 albums. But anyway, take a load off and enjoy the top 6 albums made by Billy Gilman.
Say you will, wade out into the water, breathe in, breathe out with me. You be the words to an unwritten song, I be the melody, don't let your lips be still.
Music Through Heart songs based on the poems of Maddie J.T. Stepanek, released April 15th, 2003. This album was interesting to say the least. Billy befriended Maddie J.T. Stepanek, a young poet who was dealing with muscular dystrophy. In the 13 years that Stepanek had lived, he published 5 best-selling poetry books, was a motivational speaker, and was a peace advocate. He was even friends with former President Jimmy Carter. This was Gilman's last album with Epic Nashville before the 2-year break and his voice changing. I loved his vocals in the album, but I felt it was one of his weakest ones. While I appreciate the wonderful, powerful words that Stepanek wrote, I just think that Gilman was only fulfilling a vision that someone had, to make Stepanek's words into music. It's a sweet concept, but I don't think it's highly memorable to this day. Would it be worth your money? Only if you're a really huge fan of both Maddie and Billy, and you want that combination.
Don't let your lips be still.
Classic Christmas, released October 17th, 2000. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Katie, this doesn't count. It's a Christmas album. Shut up. This is my video. It freaking counts. I believe this was released a couple of months after his debut album was released, so 2000 was a big year for him. I love the sweet arrangement he had with the slower songs, and there's just something about the way he sings White Christmas that makes me reminisce about my childhood with my paternal grandmother. Let me tell you, she loved Christmas and giving back to others. And I will always have a soft spot for his original song, Warm and Fuzzy. It's a cute little melody that would most likely put a smile on your face if you hear it just once. Classic Christmas is still a classic for me, and it's always on repeat when I'm setting up things around my house for the holiday season. This album is perfect for your holiday and when you're in the Christmas in July mood. Plus, former classical singer Charlotte Church was on this album. What more could you want?
Don't let
Dare to Dream, released May 8th, 2001. Christmassy aside, this is technically his sophomore album, but in reality, it's his third. I don't care what y'all say about that. There was a better feel to it when this one was released. While he was still singing about crushing on young girls and other silly songs, there was this one song entitled Elizabeth. He was gentle and sincere with this piece. It gives you a different perspective of life. While most of us take things for granted, there are some people who live like it's their last day. And the song is based on a young woman named Elizabeth Wagner who battled with, let me see if I can say this correctly, neurofibromatosis? I think I got that. Anyway, she battled that since she was a toddler and died at the age of 21 in April of 2002. The song was written by her aunt, who is best known for co-writing 20 of Taylor Swift's songs, the following including White Horse, You Belong With Me, and Teardrops on My Guitar.
Don't let your lips be still.
Billy Gilman, released September 6, 2006. This was the last studio album that Billy Gilman had made before leaving the country music scene, whether it was on his own terms or not. This album means the world to me. When I first purchased it, I really didn't think much of it. I just thought it was going to be one of those albums where I put it on the shelf with my collection. But then in a couple of weeks after buying the album, my paternal grandmother died of Lou Gehrig's disease, and it completely destroyed my world. This album, and Jesse McCartney's sophomore album, helped me get through the heart-aching loss, and they're both my therapeutic sessions when I have a rough day, or whatever her birthday or the anniversary of her death rolls around. The maturity of his voice was rich and full of promise. Each song was different, and he played them off perfectly. Pam Tillis collaborated with him on one track. I love that song, by the way, even though I didn't know who she was at that time. The song We Go On pulls my heartstrings every time, and it fucks with my emotions when I listen to it, and I honestly don't care. This album strongly saved me through my depression that I had in the first 2 years of my grandmother's passing. If anyone shares this video, and Billy Gilman actually listens to it, thank you, kind sir, for making this album.
Don't let your lips be still.
One Voice, released June 20th, 2000. We have come to the album that had started it all. From his hit song One Voice to his rendition of Till I Can Make It On My Own, this is everything you want it to be for a debut album from a child singer. I remember my maternal grandparents owning the cassette version, and I would listen to it every day when they would drop me off at school. And I was so happy when I eventually got a CD version when the cassette died. But there was something about him performing the slow songs that made you root for him and love him for his incredible gift. There was just this one song that I will kindly skip over any time I want to listen to this album, and that's the Snake song. If my memory serves me correctly, I think there were one or two innuendo jokes in that song, and not only is it dumb or silly, it's just not my cup of tea. But in all honesty, this was a strong start to his career, and you can find me listening to it every now and then.
Say you will wade out into the water, breathe in with me. I'll be the melody.
Everything and More, released May 3rd, 2005. Not only was this the album he made after his 2-year break, this was also the first album he made with Image Entertainment. There was a new tone in his vocals. He had a rich, lull-like sound that was executed wonderfully. While the majority of the album was soft, I also enjoyed the upbeat songs that made you feel at peace. This album made you feel like you were reunited with someone that was coming back after being away for such a very long time. I remember this album for one simple reason. It brought me back to my love for Billy and his vocals. You greatly appreciate someone's music when they've been away for such a long period of time, and this was the kind of thing I needed when I was about to face the upcoming road that was of my paternal grandmother's passing. You know, this album also served as a therapeutic album during the rough times of my depression. Not many people know about that. I went through that time alone, and now I'm in a good place where I don't have to feel guilty about the little things in life. And that's it! Billy Gilman is a wonderful, gifted artist that deserves so much more than the hell he's been given just because of his sexual orientation. I don't know if he plans to stick to country if he wants to make another album, but whatever he does, I will support and love him through it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see me do any more of these, let me know in the comments below. And I think this is pretty much my last video I will make of 2015. If I do make a video about my Florida vacation, I'll upload it in 2016. Until then, my name is Katie Obi10, and I shall see you guys soon. Take care.